Picture this. You're standing in that sterile immigration hall, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Your flight just landed after 14 hours, your phone is dying, and now there's that moment every traveler dreads. The immigration officer waves you forward with that unreadable expression. What happens in the next few minutes could determine whether you breeze through those glass doors or find yourself in a windowless room answering uncomfortable questions for the next 3 hours. Most travelers think these encounters are random, but here's the truth they don't want you to know. Every question, every pause, every seemingly casual inquiry is part of a carefully designed system. These officers aren't just checking documents, they're reading you like a book before you even open your mouth. Today, I'm breaking down 8 critical immigration questions that have evolved recently. Questions that can make or break your entry into any major country. Whether you're heading to New York, London, Sydney, or Toronto, the psychology remains the same. Say the wrong thing, and you've just painted a target on your back. But master these responses, and you'll glide through immigration like you own the place. Let's dive into what they're really asking and how to answer with bulletproof confidence. Question number 1 just got an upgrade, and it's catching travelers off guard. Instead of the old, "May I see your passport?" officers now lead with, "What brings you to our country today?" This isn't small talk. It's an immediate stress test designed to see if you can articulate your purpose clearly under pressure. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. They want to see if your first instinct is to ramble, deflect, or give a crisp, confident answer. Nervous travelers immediately start over-explaining. "Well, you see, I'm here because my friend invited me. And we've been planning this for months, and actually it's kind of a celebration because..." Stop right there. You just failed the test. Smart travelers keep it surgical. "I'm here for vacation or business conference or visiting family." 3 words maximum. No backstory, no nervous laughter, no unnecessary details. The officer already knows why you're here from your visa application and flight booking. They're testing whether your mouth can stay consistent with your paperwork. The second question is designed to trip you up when you think you're being helpful. "How long have you been planning this trip?" Seems innocent enough, but it's actually a timeline trap. They're cross-referencing your answer against booking data they can access in real time. If you booked your flight 3 months ago but claim you've been planning for a year, that inconsistency gets flagged. If you say you planned it last week but your hotel reservation shows a booking from 6 months back, red flags start waving. The key here is precision without overthinking. "I booked everything about 2 months ago" works if that's accurate. "I've been planning this since last summer" is fine if your digital trail supports it. But avoid vague answers like, "Oh, for a while now," or "It kind of came together recently." Vagueness equals suspicion in their playbook. Here's where it gets psychological. Question 3 has evolved into, "Who's expecting you here?" This replaces the old, "Do you know anyone in the country?" And it's much more strategic. They're not just asking if you have connections. They're measuring the strength and legitimacy of those connections. If you're staying at a hotel, the answer is simple. Nobody specific, "I have hotel reservations." But if you're visiting friends or family, they expect names and relationships. "My cousin Sarah" or "my business partner Mike" gives them exactly what they need to verify your story if necessary. The trap here is providing too much or too little information. Don't say "my friend" without being able to provide a name if asked, but also don't volunteer their life story, address, and how you met unless specifically requested. Immigration officers are trained to spot the difference between someone who genuinely knows the person they're visiting versus someone who's making up a connection. Question 4 is the financial reality check that's becoming more aggressive. How are you funding this trip? This used to be implied, now it's direct. They want to see if your claimed financial situation matches your travel patterns and lifestyle. If you're staying at luxury hotels but claim to be a student with no job, that math doesn't work. If you're unemployed but taking multiple international trips, they'll want documentation. The smart move is having a clear, honest answer ready. "I've been saving from my job as an accountant," or "My parents are helping with expenses," or "I have savings from my previous employment." Whatever your situation, own it confidently. Don't act embarrassed about your financial reality, and definitely don't try to inflate your income to impress them. The fifth question is pure psychology. What do you do when you're not working? This seems like casual conversation, but they're profiling your lifestyle and looking for consistency patterns. Someone who claims to be a workaholic but is taking frequent vacations raises questions. Someone who says they never travel but has stamps from 15 countries creates doubt. Be genuine but brief. I enjoy hiking and reading, or I spend time with family, or I'm into photography, which is partly why I'm here. The key is sounding like a real person with real interests, not someone rehearsing a character. Question 6 is the updated version of the accommodation inquiry. Where exactly will you be sleeping tonight? Notice the specificity. They want your first night's location, not your general travel plans. This is because flight arrival data can be cross-checked against hotel check-in systems. Have your first night locked down and memorized. The Grand Hotel downtown, or My Brother's apartment in Brooklyn. If you're genuinely uncertain about your exact accommodation, be honest but show you have a plan. I have 3 hotel options downtown. I'll decide when I arrive. Is better than pretending certainty you don't have. The 7th question catches people completely off guard. What's your biggest concern about this trip? This is psychological profiling disguised as friendly conversation. They're listening for what makes you anxious and whether those concerns align with innocent tourism or suggest hidden agendas. Safe answers focus on normal travel worries. Making sure I don't miss any flights, or hoping the weather cooperates, or jet lag recovery. Avoid anything that suggests you're worried about legal issues, immigration status, or getting caught doing something questionable. Finally, question 8 is the modern catch-all. Is there anything else I should know about your visit? This is your last chance to volunteer information that might come up later. It's also a final test of whether you've been completely honest throughout the conversation. Most of the time, no, I think we've covered everything is the perfect response. But if you have unusual circumstances, medical needs, or schedule changes that might seem suspicious later, this is when you mention them briefly and matter-of-factly. Here's what nobody tells you about modern immigration encounters. Officers aren't trying to catch you lying. They're trying to determine if you're in control of your own story. Every hesitation, every contradiction, every moment of uncertainty signals potential problems. The travelers who breeze through aren't necessarily the ones with the best paperwork. They're the ones who project calm confidence and consistent truthfulness. Your body language speaks before your words do. Your tone carries more weight than your explanations. Before your next international trip, practice these responses until they feel natural. Know your story, keep it simple, and remember that confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being genuinely prepared and honestly relaxed. Immigration officers deal with hundreds of travelers every day. The ones who stand out are either suspicious or completely at ease. Make sure you're in the second category by treating this interaction like any other professional conversation. Be respectful, be prepared, and be yourself. The next time you're standing in that immigration line, you'll know exactly what's coming and exactly how to handle it. Because when you understand the game, you stop playing defense and start playing smart. Safe travels, and remember that preparation is your passport to smooth entries worldwide. Which of these questions surprised you the most? Have you ever been asked one of these questions? Share your story in the comments below. I read every single one and love hearing about your travel experiences. If this video helped you become a smarter traveler, smash that like button and subscribe for more insider travel tips that airlines don't want you to discover. Make sure to check out our video on hidden travel perks that could save you hundreds on your next trip. Thanks for watching and safe travels.